Lieutenant Vera Ashford had always believed that survival meant knowing when to abandon the mission. That philosophy kept her alive through 17 deployments across hostile alien territories. But when the ZYX warship unleashed its plasma bombardment on the training compound, survival became irrelevant. The facility collapsed around her in a cascade of molten steel and burning synthetic walls. Through the smoke, she heard the screams, young cadets, barely 18, unprepared for the catastrophe descending upon them. Most soldiers would have run. Vera should have run. Instead, she moved toward the inferno. Cadet James Kowalski lay trapped beneath a support beam, his leg crushed and useless. His eyes held the unmistakable glaze of shock. Vera grabbed his collar and dragged him backward, her boots scraping against superheated floor plates. The flames licked at her uniform, scorching the fabric, but she didn't stop. She couldn't stop. Then she found Cadet Yuki Tanaka, unconscious from smoke inhalation, slumped against a wall of fire. Vera slung the younger woman over her shoulder and pushed forward, ignoring the protest of her muscles, the searing pain across her arms and back. 2 down. 1 more remained somewhere in the burning maze. Cadet Omar Hassan was trapped in the command center, sealed behind a failing bulkhead door. The heat in that section was unbearable, temperatures that should have rendered organic matter into ash. Vera's vision blurred. Her lungs felt like they were filled with broken glass. But she forced the door mechanism, felt the lock give, and dragged Omar's limp body back toward the exit. The last thing she remembered was the ceiling collapsing. Vera's eyes opened to brilliant white light. For a disorienting moment, she thought she had died, that this was whatever came after. Then the pain registered, her entire body screaming, burned skin tight and sensitive, every breath an exercise in suffering. "Easy," a voice said. A medical technician stood beside her pod. "You've been in regeneration for 3 weeks. You're going to feel rough." 3 weeks. The memories flooded back. The compound. The flames. The cadets. She tried to sit up, and the technician gently held her down. "The 3 cadets you saved, they're alive. You kept them alive long enough for rescue teams to find you. Without your actions, they'd be dead." Vera closed her eyes. Good. That was enough. That was everything. What came next was unexpected. Earth's Global Council had been monitoring the incident remotely. The recording of a single soldier, engulfed in flames, dragging 3 unconscious bodies through an inferno, it had gone viral. But not in the way soldier testimonies usually spread. This had reached the Hero Archives. The Hero Archives weren't a military database. They were something older, something more sacred. They were humanity's collective memory of moments when someone chose to be more than they had to be. Every culture throughout history had them, stories of firefighters running into burning buildings, of parents shielding children from explosions, of strangers pulling strangers from drowning waters. Earth's archives contained millions of entries, each one a testament to human refusal to accept unnecessary death. Vera's name had been added at the request of the 3 surviving cadets, who had demanded her inscription. The Archives Committee reviewed the footage and unanimously agreed. She hadn't saved them because she was ordered to. She hadn't saved them because she was emotionally attached. She had saved them because the alternative, living in a universe where she walked past their screams, was unacceptable to her. That was what earned entrance into the archives. When Vera finally left the medical facility, she expected a return to normal duties. Instead, she found herself summoned to Earth's Central Memorial. The building was ancient by modern standards, built 300 years ago when the first archives were established. Inside, her name was engraved alongside 3 billion others. Each name a story. Each story proof that humanity hadn't evolved beyond the impulse to sacrifice for strangers. An elderly curator approached her. "Do you know what separates humanity from every spacefaring species we've encountered?" the old woman asked. We don't measure heroism by military achievement. We measure it by choice, the moment when someone chooses another's life over their own comfort. Your action wasn't tactical. It wasn't strategic. It was simply human. Vera stood before the monument, reading names stretching back centuries. Firefighters. Parents. Protesters. Healers. Ordinary people who had done extraordinary things not because they were special, but because they refused to be the kind of people who looked away. 3 weeks of healing had felt like her story was ending. Standing in the archives, she understood it was only beginning. Not as a soldier, but as part of something infinitely larger, a continuous lineage of human beings who, when faced with suffering, moved toward it rather than away. The flames had scarred her skin. The archives had scarred her soul. And both wounds, she realized, were sacred things. Kindly like and subscribe channel. Thank you.